Hi, y'all. How's everybody doing today? Thanks for coming back. If this is your first time, thanks for joining. Check out some of my old episodes. If anything speaks to you, then it's meant for you. You don't have to listen to them in order or all of them. Whichever one calls to you is for you. But please, my pleasure, listen to all of them. Like, share, and subscribe, please. Comment, give me some feedback on what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to see happen. I'm still working on a lot of other things to boost the channel, but we're getting out there and people are noticing us, and hopefully we're touching somebody and raising somebody's frequency. So thank you. I'm so humbled and grateful that you are here and we are doing this together. So my name's Jay. I'm your vibe coach. I got a great episode planned. I've been working hard on it, but let's talk about this full moon first. This pink moon happening tomorrow, I believe. We're already in the energy. This full moon is in Libra. It's the sign of balance, beauty, and love. Who doesn't love love, right? It's asking you to look honestly at what's nourishing you and notice where you've been playing small. Give yourself permission to take up more space and to bloom, even in conditions that aren't perfect for you yet. When I think about what that means to bloom, even if conditions aren't perfect yet, here on the East Coast in the United States where I'm located, we're still fighting back the winter. But some of these flowers are coming up even through the snow. I mean, the conditions aren't perfect yet, but they're like, guess what? We're here and we're going to bloom anyways, even if the snow's here. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to bloom even if the conditions aren't perfect yet. Place some roses on your altar or run a rose and salt bath to ground yourself, because Venus rules Libra and roses calls in that love and that worth. So call in your relationships that actually nourish you and self-worth that doesn't waver. And the courage, call in that courage to bloom without waiting for permission. You don't need permission to bloom. If you don't have an altar, you don't need one. You just need your intention, you, and the moon. Light a pink or white candle. Hold rose quartz in both your hands. Close your eyes and breathe deep. Picture what you're calling in. Say out loud, I am ready to bloom. I am ready to bloom. And let that candle burn and trust that it's done. But we're not playing small anymore under this full moon in Libra. So look at what's honestly nourishing you and go from there. But that's all I'm going to say about that. This episode is going to be, I mentioned it in the last episode that I did. If you haven't listened to it yet, we're going to talk about shadow work. Shadow work, I kind of have like a push and pull with shadow work myself, but I actively am doing my shadow work. It is part of my spiritual journey. It should be part of yours. If you don't know what shadow work is, you might, but just don't know what it's called. But we're going to go over that and hopefully give you a better understanding and help you on your spiritual journey. So let's get into it. What is shadow work? Shadow work involves exploring and integrating your shadow self, including repressed emotions, fears, and desires that to foster personal growth and healing. We all have traits we're proud of and others we'd rather hide. These hidden parts often manifest as emotional reactions or negative behaviors. And we don't even realize that that's what's happening sometimes. Facing our unconscious shadow requires self-awareness, courage, and sometimes support from a therapist. There's no shame in therapy, by the way. I'm actually impressed more when people tell me they're in therapy rather than hiding it. You shouldn't hide that you're in therapy. You shouldn't hide that you're doing something to better yourself. That's self-love. So there's a stigma around therapy, and I just want to snap that stigma in half right now, because therapy is a good thing. So I'll get off my soapbox about that. That's a whole other episode. But It's essential for improved mental health and personal growth. Your shadow self refers to the unconscious aspects of your personality that you may repress, reject, or hide. And if you've heard of the psychologist Carl Jung, he referred to the shadow self as the dark side of the psyche. Not bad, but the side that's neglected or misunderstood. He defined the unconscious with 8 different archetypes. And I'm going to go over what those 8 types are. I'm not going to spend too much time defining them, but I'll give you a gist of what they are. So number 1 is self, and that's your conscious awareness. Number 2 is your shadow, which is that dark emotional aspect. Then there's the anima, which is the feminine side, and the animus, which is the masculine side. The persona, which is the mask you wear to protect yourself. The hero, which is the side that can overcome evil destruction. The wise old man, which is your wisdom, yourself, your wisdom self. And number 8 is the trickster, who is that childish part of yourself that needs gratification. These traits aren't negative. They're just reflections of parts of you that need attention and healing. Ways that our shadow parts show up in our conscious lives: jealousy, addiction, depression, anxiety, codependency, creating a lot of drama or being a part of a lot of drama, self-sabotage, power struggles, lies, procrastination, passive aggressiveness, violent behaviors, victimization, discontentment, and reactivity. Everything you find annoying in others, you judge and reject from yourself. Points to shadow issues. Whenever we unconsciously repeat a behavior, it's a clue for a shadow part that has taken control over us. Here are some ways that we can help recognize our shadow parts. We have a lack of self-confidence and we're afraid to speak up. We blame external circumstances. We have weak boundaries. We have a fear of putting ourselves and our creative work out into the world because we're afraid of judgment. So we procrastinate and then we end up self-sabotaging. Another way is not doing what you know you want and is good for you, but you don't do it. Relationship issues, being anxious or avoidant attachment, money or success issues, judging others who make a lot of money or who are, outwardly successful. Everything that scares you sinks deep down into your shadow. And sometimes it becomes a big inner monster. So what are the fears that you repeatedly have to deal with? Do you have any that keep coming up? Maybe every time your partner talks about a colleague at work, you get jealous for no rational reason. There's something there, there's shadow work that needs to be done. You judge a woman's masculine appearance and don't like when women wear short hair. You have a friend who is sometimes late and it triggers you. Maybe you turn passive aggressive when you get frustrated in relationships. Hello, shadow. That's your shadow coming to the surface. Basically, whatever you're struggling in life with, a shadow hides. Repressing our shadow requires a lot of energy. In the long run, it can make us sick and cause burnout. When we make friends with our neglected shadow, we experience more joy and flow in life, more fulfilling relationships, and we're able to access our full potential. We expand our capacity for kindness and compassion to ourselves and others, which makes us less judgmental and critical. It turns us into happier people and gives us more self-confidence. And last, but definitely not least, this process makes us more self-aware as well as conscious and in touch with ourselves. So if you've been looking to love yourself more and deepen the connection with yourself, shadow work is the path. Journaling, your triggers, dream analysis, mindfulness, and therapeutic techniques like shadow mapping, designed to bring unconscious patterns into awareness for healing. There are also workbooks available for purchase in stores or online. I actually have a workbook that I purchased online that I find to be very helpful. I'm also available for one-on-ones if you need more info or guidance. You can check out my website for my booking page. And I want to reference a song because if you know me, you know how I love music and how passionate I am. And a lot of times I get downloads from the divine through music. And a song that really comes to mind when I think about shadow work is that Whitney Houston song, The Greatest Love of All, where she says, I found the greatest love of all inside of me. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. Until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.